Hi, it's Lee here. Welcome to another day of Dephemerember. So it's the 21st of December that this video is going up on, and we're up to prompt 12, which is vintage meets modern. For those of you who don't know what Dephemerember is, it's a challenge run by Barbara from 49 Dragonflies and Louisa Heinzel. And Dephemerember is a mashup of December and ephemera. So as you can probably guess, the aim is to make ephemera of some sort. Okay, so that was my fairy from yesterday, my recycled fairy. I really love her, she's so cute. Yes, enough of that. Today is vintage meets modern, so I need to find a page to use. I've nearly done all of the fronts of these, and I don't know, I think I have to start using the backs now. So that one's been used, this one sort of been used, can't have anything that you need to write on there. Here we go, what about one of these? This one. We'll go for this one. And I'm thinking along the lines of something old, so I did actually look up the meaning of vintage just to get it clear in my head, and it just says something like of an age. Okay, so that could really mean anything. So then I looked at other meanings and found a couple that were a bit vague. One said at least 20 years old, one said at least 40 years old, and another one said not new. Okay, so that leaves the scope fairly wide open. Now, in amongst the things that Di sent me, and I hope you have been watching Di's videos, there's a link for her channel in my video description box. But anyway, in amongst the stuff that she sent me was a vintage handkerchief, which I've massacred by pulling the outside side of it off. So I thought that could be my vintage. And something that is relatively new, I believe, I'm not sure how long exactly it's been around, but is the distress oxides and the ink sprays and that sort of thing. So I thought I might do something using this vintage handkerchief and some modern inks. Okay, so this has been hanging around on my desk forever and a day, so I'm going to finally use this. I've cut out a section of the vintage hanky, and I'm going to stain it with some vintage photo, possibly a bit of tea dye, and some stenciling on this as well, front and back. And I will use vintage photo, I believe, for that. And then I'm going to make a pocket for this to sit in. And my pocket is going to be this photo featured with a piece of tulle that it came off a wedding dress. So I cut this off a wedding dress. I've put some tea dye and vintage photo on there. So what I'll do is get a piece of cardstock maybe, or scrapbook paper perhaps, and use that as a base, and that'll be my pocket. Okay, so I'm going to just get this stained first. So I'm going to use an acrylic block. That black ink on the other side won't come off at all, so it's not going to affect the colour of this ink. So I will see if I can splotch it. Need a bit more. I'm going to go a bit of vintage tea dye this time. The thing with these inks though is they change, like the colours that make them up seem to separate a little bit when you mix them with water, and I've done this before where I've actually had like yellows and some other odd colours coming out that I didn't think would happen. You can see it's getting yellow around the edge. Alright, so now I'm going to use some ground espresso. This is oxide spray, but I'm not going to spray it. I'm just going to use the dropper to apply some here and there. And then I'll give that a bit of a wet down. I'm trying to get rid of that yellow. I don't want the yellow in there if I can possibly avoid it, but we'll see. Surprising when you use these and add water, you actually see the colours that do come out. Let's see what's going to happen with this. It's getting a good saturation, that's for sure. Okay, so that needs to dry. Just going to put it on my old cloth there. Pop it aside. And I'm just going to use this to mop up some of that excess. Rather than waste it. Now I reckon a little bit of blue, because I've got blue inks and I want to use them. So what have I got here? Evergreen Bough, which is a greeny blue. Tumbled Glass. I should wipe excess moisture. Oh, okay, this just reminded me, I had a comment from Jackie. Thanks for letting me know, Jackie. I must have bumped the sensitivity on my microphone up, because every time I touched my desk, it came through on the recording. It like bumps and thumps in the background. So it was just touching the desk, and I've now relocated my microphone to a different place where I can't actually bump it, so that should not happen again. And my apologies, would have been in a few videos I think. But anyway, and I've heard it on other people's videos and I thought it was people walking around in like upstairs or something. So yeah, now I know. Okay, so that needs to dry off a bit. I'm going to use the heat gun to dry that. I'm going to stencil on this. I feel like I want to put some texture paste on the other side. I'll think about that while I'm inking. I've got a piece of shopping bag that I want to use as my pocket. So I've torn that diagonally down that way. And I want to put that on there. And maybe some of these other pieces. Bit of that. Bit of music paper. I found a bit of this, so that can't be torn, so I'll just snip a bit off it. Like that. So I'm just going to put those bits together. I'm not going to ink any of this. I might on that, but not these elements here. Got a little bit of this there, might pop a bit of that on. So I like the texture. ink around the edge of this. Now I'm going to glue it on, but I'm also going to stitch around the photo. So the glue is just going to hold it in place so I can sew it. And I'll do that on the machine. So that's dry, it's been stenciled, and I stenciled some texture paste on there, and I'm going to use some gilding wax. I think I'll just apply it with my finger just to add a little bit of gold onto those flowers there. So we've got that nice little shimmer. This is dry now, it's been out in the sun, so I shall glue that on. I'm just going to keep that up from the bottom a little bit off the edge. I don't want it catching when this gets put in and out of the pocket itself. And I believe I'm just going to trim that off like that. Might need to apply a little bit more glue just here. Didn't quite take it up high enough. Okay, so that's done. That's all I'm doing to that. So that's going to be my pocket. I'm just going to leave the red on there. Okay, so that's my envelope, I should say. So here is my pocket. So I've stitched around 3 times on that, and I've just made a little messy thing there, thread tangle, and then I've got this, and I'm thinking I should sew it on, but I reckon some staples would look nice. So I can get the stapler in there. Okay. Scrunch that up, I think, and then re-staple it. Yep. Okay, so that's my pocket, and then that's going to go in there. Alrighty, where's the page? Here's the page. I'm going to attach the pocket, and can I staple? Yes. Okay, so I'm going to staple the pocket on. You just won't be able to put little things in this pocket. Okay, let's see what damage we did over here. Yeah, not too bad, just got a staple down there. That works well. There's my pocket. There's my envelope going into my pocket, like so. I haven't got anything to go in my envelope. I do have the safety pin here. Maybe I could stick that on here somewhere. Yep. Okay. I know what I can put in there. I've got this gold license, so 1 month gold license. So that will fit in there nicely. Seal it back up again. Doesn't need all of that red. Get rid of some of that. Pop it back in the pocket. And there is today's Vintage Meets Modern. Okay, so I've used a vintage handkerchief on here. I've got a vintage image, and I've got some fabric and a flower off an old wedding dress, and a vintage safety pin, and my modern is the texture paste, the stenciling, and the distress inks that I've used on that. So let's pop it in the book. It's a nice easy one for today. What do you think? I love this. I mean, I love this. I love this, but I love what I just made because it's simple. There it is in the book. Okay. Just got my tulle hanging off the edge there, my stained flower, my image in the background, and my envelope with my gold license in it there, and the antique handkerchief, or vintage handkerchief. Okay, let me know in the comments what you think. Love it when you leave a comment. And how would you have done this one? Would you have done anything different, or would you put it together differently to what I've done? Anyway, let me know. Love it. I love reading the comments, and I try to give a meaningful comment in return. Sometimes there's so many that it just has to be a quick thanks, cheers sort of thing. But oops. Yes, I do love reading them. They all get read, they all get hearted, so don't ever think that your comments do not get read, because every single one of them does. And yeah, thanks for watching, thanks for spending some time with me, and happy crafting. Hugs and cheers from Australia. I'll see you in the next video, which is the friendship bracelet. That could be interesting. Alrighty, take care people. Hooroo!